Back. We are getting ready for some modern, so we'll change this over to the word modern. There we go. We're starting things off round 2 here with Barry Burn. No big
I would
shock.
assume so.
Yeah, unless he's throwing us off, busts out, I don't know, some mono white.
There
maybe?
could be a switch, but I doubt it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so Barry versus Will.
Yeah, Will, not too sure what Will's on right now.
He was talking to me earlier. I think if he was able to locate Snapcaster mages, he's going to be playing Grixis Delver.
Okay, all right. So you're familiar with that deck. You've
Yeah.
recently started playing it yourself.
Yeah, and I've played it before a bunch
Yeah.
of times too. Like I've been off and on Grixis Delver in Modern for a very long time. So
It's a pretty fun
I'm
deck.
actually in my wheelhouse here for the first time in a while. I don't play a lot of the decks that we see on camera, but finally get a blue deck
Yeah.
in here.
Sure. So yeah, we'll bring it full screen. We'll see if that is indeed what Will is on. We could be wrong.
To be fair, Grixis Delver's matchup against Burn is completely abysmal, and I would be very
yes.
surprised if Will manages to win a game, let alone the match. But
Your-
it can happen.
Your lands kill you, I feel, most of the
Oh,
time.
this is Grixis Delver. I see Taziger, Mandalik, and Fetch
Oh,
Lands.
that's Grixis Delver for sure.
Hey, there's Delver. Hey, buddy.
All right, so play here is going to be very important for Will. Yeah, I think he... Barry has a 4-lander there, so all right, here goes.
That's all right if he never draws another land.
Yeah, we're underway, so we're gonna see the.
That's how you beat Burn, by the way.
With Delver, and they draw all the lands.
Yeah, they
Sure.
draw every land in their deck.
Sure. Will down to 17 right away. This is why, as Cody mentioned, typically Grixis Delver not a good matchup against Burn.
You just deal so much damage to yourself.
And that's the thing you have to as well. You can't avoid it, otherwise you're going too slow to do anything. So Barry fires back with a shock and a lightning bolt to the Delver. What do you think about that?
I don't think that's how you win this matchup.
Just go face.
Barry, for those who don't know, is the owner of Top 8 Gaming.
Yeah.
So he doesn't get to play a lot of Modern all the time. And he's recently been feeling out the matchups, figuring out when you're supposed to kill the creatures, when you're supposed to go for burn spells. And I think because he's identified that this deck plays a lot of creatures, he decided he was like, I'm going to go for the creatures. But against Delver,
You don't want to play a long game.
no. And the thing about Modern Delver is it's less tempo and more mid-range. It's looking to kind of grind the game out for a while.
Looks like Will's going to Mana Leak this Monastery Swift Spear. Taking more damage from his lands here. Now, it looks like he also has a copy of Storm Chaser Mage I just saw.
Okay, so
Might not have found the Snapcasters, which is a big minus there, unless he's like...
I know Will has a Taziger in hand, so I'm
So we know
not
he's
sure
Grixis for
about
sure?
fetching Island instead of Swamp.
I think
there.
he has I think he has more lands still, though.
He has.
So-
I think he has another. I don't know. Yeah,
Maybe
if
not.
he has to have a black source. Like, there's no way you wouldn't
Who knows?
fetch a swamp there.
So Barry, no follow-up to the Swister being countered, just passes the turn back. May still have a spell, but I think he has a Skullcrack in hand from what I saw. So there is the Black Source we talked about. There's a Blood Crypt.
The interesting thing here is that you could have just fetched swamp and played the blood crypt tapped.
doesn't
The
sound
thing about
enjoyable.
the thing about Delver is that I don't know why you wouldn't run out Taziger here either, but
Yeah, Burn can't answer a 4/5 area.
yeah, the Pyromancer can die
Very
The
easily. Now he is
Taziger
gonna.
cannot.
He will get one trigger. We know he has a Thought Scour in hand,
Yeah,
so he'll get guaranteed one trigger out of this Pyromancer. Goblin Guide comes down.
card Barry really wants is Searing Blaze.
Yes. Here we see a Scalding Tarn revealed to the Goblin Guide's trigger. And here's the Thought Scour being cast before blockers are declared. So he's going to be blocking, I assume, with the ordering he's done here. Looks like Barry maybe pausing Will. No, we'll say it's fine. Just chump block with the Elemental. Young Pyromancer is a very good card as well.
Yep. Yeah, it's a strong card. I
Getting
mean, Taziger
full-
would have done the job, but
People arguing it, this was the red 2-drop to fill the slot with things like Snapcaster, Stoneforge, Goyf, and Bob. I don't know if it's the same power level as those. Red doesn't have a lot of 2-drops that fit that power level, though.
I think it is. if you're gonna find one, it's probably that one. And
Yeah.
the card just gets better like the higher up the chain you go. Like Legacy, the Pyromancer is like a staple rather than like a one deck kind of. I mean, it's still one deck, but it's unbelievable in Grixis Delver. And in Vintage, it was highly played, but Monastery Mentor is kind of
Taking over that role.
because the prowess triggers are so easy to trigger.
Yeah, Moxes and prowess
yeah.
go really well. So here's the tasker we were talking about. Exiling his lands. We'll say he's going to leave himself with 1 land, a Terminate, and a Young Pyromancer. I perhaps would have liked to leave maybe like one of the draw spells, but okay. So there's another land for Will.
How many cards did he exile?
5. You want the full distance?
He paid 1 extra. Oh no, he played the probe.
Yeah, he paid mana for Taxian Probe this turn.
So it's interesting that he's been conscious of his life total, but also just took the line where he had to shock himself to do something instead of fetch swamp, play Taziger, play land tap.
Yeah, so our spotter just confirming that there was enough mana paid here, and certainly there was. So it looks like Barry has a Skullcrack in hand right now. I think that's all I can see at the moment.
Deflecting Palm as well, but Will knows about it now. So it's
does he? Okay, I wasn't sure what I didn't get a good look at what the probe saw.
To be fair, though, if Will doesn't turn the corner soon, he's just going to get burned out.
Yeah, 14 is a high life total where he's at right now, but a few just average top decks from Barry will take care of it. So,
like if Barry just draws nothing but spells for the rest of the game, he's still favored, and that's why this matchup's so unfavorable. Like Will's off to the best start you probably can be, but it's still a very losable situation. Although Goblin God on defense is never great. But again, like, what do? You can trade your Young Pyromancer for the Goblin, but like this Taziger just does 4 damage to yourself. I don't like this attack. You know the deflecting palms there. You're just giving him a clock. I guess if you have exactly mana leak, this is fine.
Okay, Will just says, "Yeah, I take 4." Yeah, that's an interesting line to take where you know about it and you're just, okay, I'll take 4.
You could have just attacked with Young Pyro and the token as well.
Yeah, lead back
your
Tassiger.
Yeah, and then either Barry just chump blocks the token and you get in for 2, or he trades with the Pyro and you have Taziger and an Elemental.
There's a fish coming down. There it is. He's going to have to exile everything but 1 or everything if he wants to keep a mana open. It looks like he's opting to keep 1 mana open in the form of Blood Crypt. He has a Flooded Strand to go with it, so he does have a little extra mana. So he does have 2 mana available for any potential counter magic that he may have.
He doesn't have it. The mana leak on the Deflecting Palm would have been so good there. It's like getting a Boros Charm.
Oh, I agree. I mean, it was just a Boros Charm, right? So here we see Barry sacrifice his fetch land end of turn.
I wouldn't be surprised if he fires off the Skullcrack because it puts him within range of like if he's drawn another burn spell in the time since Will looked at his hand, then he's just like any burn spell away from killing Will.
I know I just saw a Bloodstained Mire for sure in Barry's hand.
Well, then that's not good.
There's 2 cards, though. I'm not sure what the other card is. He drew a Scalding Tarn, and I think there's a 3rd land in his hand still. So that's definitely not what you want if you're on Barry's side here.
Barry's close to dead, too.
Yes, with the addition of the Gurmag Angler, yeah, he's not in the best.
He's taking 7 on the surface here and chumping away his Goblin Guide.
There is the Zombie Fish. Once it comes up here for us, there we are. The 5/5 for black usually.
If Barry doesn't have any burn spells in hand, I don't see how he can win this. He has to have at least 1.
Well, he needs to have either a blocker here. Yeah, he needs that. I mean, Will has an Electrolyze in hand, I saw.
That is not it.
Yeah, this is going to...
He has land Lava Spike.
Does he? So he does. Okay, he did have a burn spell, so that's a little unfortunate. He couldn't find another burn spell to go with that Lava Spike to end the game. So a good game 1 for Will there.
Yeah.
Again, a matchup that not typically you're going to put him ahead in.
No, never.
I still don't think he's ahead. I think Barry drew a lot of land for 1. I don't know if Barry's keep was optimal. Keeping 4 lands is rough.
That's how you win, though.
Yeah, sure.
Like in this matchup, burn is so miserable game 1, And game 2, you have access to Collective Brutality, which it looks like Will does not have.
There's thought as well to the fact that turn 1 Lightning Bolt went to a Delver instead of the face.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he was approximately 3 damage short of the win. So
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we were saying, right? We think he... let's say Barry's siding out Eidolons.
On the play, you want those for sure.
This is actually fantastic because he's siding out Eidolons and Will is siding in Vampiric Link, which is like your big answer to Eidolon.
Oh, sure. Just put
you put Vampiric Link on Eidolon and then you heal.
Yeah, because Vampiric Link is not actually lifelink.
Before the printing of Collective Brutality, this was the card I boarded in against Burn every time, just because Eidolon killed you. Yeah, and it works both ways. When your opponent casts spells, they heal you too. So it's almost unbeatable for them. They have to start swinging it in.
That's pretty spicy against Eidolons.
It's a lot of fun. Interestingly, Barry's siding out Eidolons, so the Vampiric Link is just going to be attached to a Big Fish or Taziger, which is also pretty good.
It's not bad.
But it's later in the game than you'd like it to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that he's taking up the Eidolons on the play. On the draw, I can see that for sure. It's a little too slow.
Barry's unfamiliarity with Modern.
That's fair.
Because he runs a store. I think is hurting him here because he saw Taziger and Gurmag, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's like thinking like, well, there's a lot of big spells in this deck too. Eidolon's maybe not its best, but realistically, every spell Eidolon hits except
for
those.
Taziger and Gurmag.
Yeah.
Yeah, contrary to popular belief, when you own a store, you play less Magic.
Oh yeah, Barry is a busy man.
Yeah.
Will siding out Terminates is interesting too. Not sure I like that. I don't know what he's bringing. Okay,
He
I
did
would
not
not
bring
bring
in
in
that
Surgical
quickly.
Extension.
Is that what he's bringing in there? Okay.
Surgical,
So it looks like Barry took out 2 Searing Blaze and 2 Eidolon of the Great Revel.
I would prefer just all the Blazes if we were going to go that route. And even
the
then,
Blaze...
I think the Blazes are okay.
Yeah, Burn has so many good cards in this matchup.
There's very little you need to sideboard. I'm curious as to what he would sideboard in. I would sideboard out Deflecting Palm.
Yeah, you can't expect Will to play into it like that every time. So took out all the Eidolons, but then put 2 cards back. Yeah, okay. So it looks like Barry was initially looking at siding out all of his Eidolons here, but decided that Searing Blaze was a worse card than Eidolon, which I agree with.
I agree. Yeah, I think Eidolon's your best card in this matchup.
Searing Blaze is still great, but...
So siding Eidolon out is rough, but...
Now, Barry did last week switch up his sideboard a little bit, put in some Satyr Fire Dancers.
Yes.
That good here?
It's honestly not bad, although questionable to bring out Searing Blaze if you're bringing those in.
When you're combining with that. Let's bring out the Fire Dancer, not one everyone...
Barry was saying like he loved that card. He thought it was amazing.
Yeah, the 2-mana 1/1 from... What was that? Born of the Gods?
Yeah.
I can't remember, yeah.
Journey, maybe, I don't know.
That's Born. Whenever it's a sorcery spell you control deals damage to the opponent, the Fire Dancer gets to deal that much damage to a creature that player controls. So it kind of makes everything a Searing Blaze in the sense that it gets to go to the face and to a creature, which is pretty
The problem is this card's abysmal against a deck that plays burn spells. Like, it's a 1/1. It just dies to Electrolyze. It dies to Kolaghan's Command. Although I think Will sideboarded out some number of Kolaghan's Commands.
Yeah.
The fact that Will sideboarded in Surgical Extraction is very questionable.
Yeah, it's interesting against Burn. That's not a card you typically think of to bring against Burn.
Well, you're paying 2 life to play it almost every time.
Yeah.
Even if you do get a good spell out of it, the fact that you just domed yourself for 2 is much more relevant.
It's a little rough, yeah.
And I think he sided out Probes as if like, I know Phyrexian mana is going to hurt me, but like Probes are still good.
They're just great. They're just free draw.
I would probably board them out if I had Collective Brutalities, but he has no access to Collective Brutalities. And he brought in Surgical, which is just I don't know. I think there's some unfamiliarity with the matchup on both sides, would be my guess.
So Barry started off spending a Rift Bolt off to the side there, the Late Lightning Bolt. Will has that turn 1 Delver again. We'll see what Barry does with this Rift Bolt because it can go
There's
to the
a Fire
Delver.
Dancer in his hand, I think.
Does he? That's pretty nice.
I think.
Yeah. Do you think you hold it a turn and wait until you can get some advantage out of it at least?
So I think if I'm looking at this correctly, Barry's hand is double Swift Spear, a Fire Dancer, a Searing Blaze, and maybe one other spell. In his spot, I like double Swift Spear attack with both.
Yeah, I agree.
if that's wrong, then
Delver's not blocking.
Then
So.
I think you just Searing Blaze the Delver now.
I definitely see one Swift Spear. Okay, he's going with the Fire Dancer instead. So Will taking a read of this card is not seen very much. It is a very interesting card in Burn for sure. But it saw some play when we kind of talked about that mono red deck before.
Yeah,
In the Stoke the Flames
when
deck.
I was playing that
Will-
Burn deck in Standard,
Did Will just miss his Delver trigger, or he just knew?
yeah,
it
he
wasn't-
just drew. I think he
Okay.
didn't know.
just a pass the turn. So now this Fire Dancer is live, which
Yeah.
is pretty solid.
I think Barry has a Searing Blaze, which deals a lot of damage.
That sure does. I mean, it's unfortunate Will doesn't have a second creature.
What is?
That is Reality Hemorrhage.
Is that from BFZ?
Either that or Oath.
I don't know that card, although it looks familiar, and I see the Devoid.
It's a Devoid. Yeah, it's Oath of the Gatewatch. It's colorless damage to deal with. I'm not sure why he brought that in necessarily. I like Searing Blaze more than that card for sure. This is a colorless way to deal with some spells, I guess. But an attack for 1 is going to drop Will to 17. Barry will suspend his second copy of Rift Bolt. No third land.
Yeah, okay, so Will's definitely a little unfamiliar with Delver because the fetch land is one of the best ways you can manipulate your library.
Yes.
There are a lot of cards that you want to flip Delver but don't want to draw, and the way you can arrange your upkeep is that you can have Delver's trigger, put on the stack, look at whatever the spell is, and then before it resolves you can also fetch, getting rid of whatever the card you flipped over for Delver is. So you can flip Delver, not draw the spell, or if you flip Delver and see a land, now you know you don't want the land, you can get rid of it.
Yep.
It's part of the sequencing that makes this deck very powerful for experienced pilots especially.
Yeah, I agree.
So a little unfortunate for Will to miss that.
There goes Counter Squall and Surgical Extraction thanks to Thought Scour. It looks like another miss for Delver here.
Looks
how
like
does-
I don't think he
had more land.
I don't think he tried to look for Delver again.
He did this time, I think. Plays the Swamp. His hand looks like a lot of lands, though.
I think he
There's a lightning
found
bolt.
lightning bolt.
I see it's going to deal with this Fire Dancer.
I think you go after Swiss Spear. Barry looked like he didn't have answers to.
Well, the Rift Bolt right now is going to deal with the Delver.
I guess.
If it goes to face.
But like
I mean, Swift Spear is also a lot of damage.
long term, I think that the Swiss Spear is much scarier.
This could be a Mana League Will's looking at. Looks like he's opted not to.
Which is interesting because Barry wouldn't have been able to pay. I think if you're guaranteed to be able to get it, you do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I guess you can Mana Leak a Boros Charm instead, but he's not going to main phase it. You got to use your mana somehow.
Yeah.
You're getting to the point in the game where this Swiss Spear is going to attack for 2 more, and now you're going to have to like start to worry about.
There's the Searing Blaze. There's no landfall in this Searing Blaze either. Will is still gonna.
Yeah, that's why I
Mana
don't
Leak
like
that one.
Barry's sequencing where he played the Fire Dancer after he fetched because he had Searing Blaze in hand,
Yeah.
and he was guaranteed to deal the 3.
Yeah. He's gonna take 3 more here because it does still trigger the prowess. It doesn't care if the spell resolves. It only cares if it gets cast.
Yep.
So. Yeah, so Will falls to 9, it looks like. Barry at 13. Delver still no flip. His hand is lands and Serum Visions. Serum Vision.
Yeah. The thing is, Will's had multiple turns where he could have sequenced his. Yeah, that's the way you want to do that.
Yeah, he almost stacked that incorrectly. That would have been a little awkward.
Where he could have Serum Visioned and stacked his deck.
Will showing Barry, I have 4 lands in hand.
Yeah, but had he ordered his
Eh.
line of play differently, he would have been able to manipulate his library and flip the Delver, or at least bottom a couple lands.
Yep.
And again, these are like small things, but they really, really add
Important.
up when you are playing Delver. Delver is very, very punishing for your mistakes in Modern.
Yep.
It's not the most overtly powerful deck, so it can be difficult.
So right now Barry has in hand Reality Hemorrhage and a Lightning Bolt that he just drew, if I'm not mistaken.
He has a lot of burn. I think
Yeah.
he's just.
There's the Hemorrhage. Will has a copy of Negate.
Is this what you want to fight over?
Takes 2 more damage here though from the Swift Spear.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is the 2 damage to your Delver worth it.
All right, he's going to show Barry a counter squall. So we'll pull that one up. There it is. Right somewhere.
The thing is, yeah, he can attack with his Delver, and Barry doesn't need to attack with Swift Spear. And even if he counters his spells, he's trading his Delver for it.
Yep.
And Barry just drew Goblin Guide, which is a gross draw, because Will's counter spell does not line up against it. So now Will's going to be forced to block with the Delver either way. He's going to have to play Counter Squall, but it's still going to just kill him.
Oh, there's counter squall. So yes, blue and a black counter target our creature spells controls 2 life.
Is there another art for that card?
Yes.
Never
There
seen
it is.
Oh. How'd that
It's the
happen?
dual deck. Dual deck of Johnny versus Bolus.
I don't know which one I like more. I haven't seen
I
it
like
before.
original more.
Will pretending to have a think about this lightning bolt, but I'm pretty sure he's forced to counter it or he's dead. It's pretty close.
Swift Spear will still trade, right?
Yeah.
So this will take care. He'll still take 2, falling to 5.
This is what I mean. I'm not sure that I like
And will no
the sideboard
spells
plan here.
No spells to.
Oh.
Well, he's just dead. Yeah.
He's not dead.
He has to block Goblin Guide.
Yeah, he's going to.
He's gonna have to if he's dead.
But he's just like, this is what I said. You navigate to the point in the game where you're like, okay, maybe I've turned the corner, but you're at 5 life, and then you can't really do anything about it. You're just like, Will's had what, 3 counter spells that have all stopped burn spells, and it's not going to be enough.
Yep.
That's what I don't like, the surgical extraction counter squall plan. You need to be doing proactive things like using collective brutality and whatnot.
Yep. There's the trade. Barry says take 4. I would have waited to see if Will cracked that fetch land.
I was waiting to see if Barry gave his Goblin Guide indestructible. just for some spice.
Will taking a look here at Barry's graveyard.
Yep, that's a burn deck.
Barry also had in hand.
Nice.
Barry had a Tarkus command in hand actually instead of Borostrom there possibly.
Yeah,
Which
that
would
would
have
have been
saved
better.
the Goblin
Yeah.
Guide and done 3. All right, well, Will just knows he's dead now. He says, show me your hand. I get to take out your Borostroms. Sure, I have 2 other burn spells. What do you want to take? Nothing? Okay. All right, so Barry evens things up.
So in that last turn, we got to see why surgical extraction
do
is
anything.
embarrassing in this matchup. It just doesn't do anything. All it does is get spells that have already been cast. And sure, like that was the best case scenario. Obviously not drawing it there, but getting Boros Charm doesn't.
It doesn't matter.
Sure, you got
There's
3 of
just-
their burn spells, but everything is a burn spell.
Yeah,
Like, unless
there's
you could
just
surgical
so much
extraction their
redundancy.
deck, then I don't think it's going to help you enough. And I think
I surgically extract cards that say deal damage.
on Barry's side, that Reality Hemorrhage is a 2-mana shock. I don't know why it's even in the sideboard.
Yeah, I don't know why that came in.
I'm not sure what it's doing there. I think that's a Tim special.
There's
I think Tim
no-
convinced Barry about
Well, it
that
was-
a long time ago.
It's there to fight Core Firewalker.
Sure.
That's been brought up by a couple different players. That was done. Wasn't necessarily a Tim special.
I think you only do that in a meta where burn is like super
I agree.
popular,
I don't
though.
think it's necessary here.
I don't even know if it's necessary to beat Core Firewalker, to be honest. I think I'd rather just be a good burn deck and hope that they don't beat me with Core Firewalker.
Barry didn't have to draw a card at all. Select me. He just cast one of the 2 cards in his hand to kill Will.
Yeah, he just had.
Will being at 1 with Barry having a Targus command and Skullcrack in hand. Didn't need to draw any cards. Just said you're dead.
There's a card I might have boarded out in Barry's spot.
Skullcrack.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't. There's no life gain in Will's deck, right? So
I don't think there is. I mean,
can't imagine.
okay,
I mean,
well,
brutality would be.
in my spot, I wouldn't have boarded it out, but like if I was like just sitting in Barry's spot. But from our chairs, we know that Will literally has 0 copies of Collective Brutality in his deck, and that is not good. Like that is like Skullcrack now doesn't really do anything. With Skullcrack, you can sometimes get a Brutality, and that matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is an interesting
No problem. Select me.
build from Will, because I think what made Grixis Delver playable again is Collective Brutality, and I think I've talked to you about that already a little bit. Where
Brutality is. I mean, it's a fantastic card, and
it shores up 2 of your worst matchups.
it's insane.
It
against
beats burn and it beats
It's
infect, and those
insane
were 2
against
decks
burn.
that you struggled against a little bit. I mean, infect you definitely had a lot of, like, you had spell snare, you had terminate, like you weren't too bad, but brutality gets to go like, okay, I'll give your guy minus whatever and escalate it to duress you, and now you have to spend 2 pump spells to save your guy. That can sometimes be enough just alone for
Yeah.
infect.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then it's a complete blowout.
Yeah. So Barry took a mulligan to 6 here. Will kept his 7. I don't think he has a lot of creatures this time. Will's
hand's super sketchy, but it is Delver, Thought
so
Scour, and another playable card, maybe a Serum Visions. I don't know. If it's that sketchy, I'd play Serum Visions first. Make sure I can put a spell second from the bottom, if I can. And
so there's the Delver again on turn 1. Barry's gonna go ahead. Crack. I think Barry has a 1-lander here though.
That's fine.
Scry Lightning Bolt to the top.
Burn is adept at doing that. The big thing is for Barry, if he's kept a 1-lander, he needs to have a Monastery of Spirit Goblin Guide here.
No, it's not a 1-lander. I think I see a second land in the back of his hand there.
Well, then this hand's fine. If it's 2 lands and spells, then he's favored.
Yeah, I think do you think he kills the Delver here?
No, I hope not.
Yeah, it looks like he's
Yes,
okay.
that's correct.
That's a very good start. Yeah, that's what he wants. Swift Spear comes in for 1. Will falls to 19.
There are some matchups where Barry has to play like a control deck, but this is not one of them.
Here is the Serum Visions on upkeep to flip Delver of Secrets.
Feels good when you blind flip a Delver.
It
Love
does.
Love it.
Here comes an attack for 3. Barry's down to 14 now. Will can play out the Serum Visions that Barry knows about, of course. He's going to do that, it looks like.
He also has a Thought Scour that he can play.
Yeah.
Will also opening on Darkslick Shores matters.
Yes,
Saves him 3 life,
no
essentially.
damage from his lands there.
He went top. That's always scary.
Yes.
He has a
Well,
fetch
I
land.
Yeah, top play fetch land is a little awkward, but
Yeah.
if he does have a second land, it's going to be huge. I don't think he does, though, because he's tapping right away. Bolts down the Delver, attacks for 2, Will goes to 17, and I don't think there's a second land here for Barry, so it was a 1-lander. I see Searing Blaze, Boros Charm, Satyr Fire Dancer, and 2 other cards I'm not too sure about right now.
Yeah, Barry's hand's gas.
He needs a land,
He just
though.
needs a land, yeah.
Yeah, he finds a land, he's in great
the
shape.
Satyr Fire Dancer is a blank
Yeah.
a lot of the time. I don't know, maybe I'm cynical. I'm just not a fan of this card. Will's going to have to shock himself with this to play the Pyro.
Yes.
It's gross.
Yep, so Will going to fall down to 14, so evens things up life total-wise. He will have, we know about the Thought Scour in hand, so we know that he does have at least one
He has another land,
elemental
too.
coming out of this.
Well, the only land I'm positive he has is a Watery Grave, I think.
That's a little unfortunate.
I think. I could be wrong. Could be totally wrong. Oh, it's an island. That's great.
There's
and
also
a
a swamp.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
You
So
couldn't
there's
ask
the
for more.
island. Here is, it looks like a main, okay, it's Serum Visions.
Actually, you could ask for more. I feel like he'd rather just have a red source, and he could have bolted this Whisper and been done with this game. Ooh. There's that Vampiric Link.
Another copy of Lightning Bolt as well. Top.
Vampiric
Again.
Link first.
Okay, looks like Barry found his land, which is important.
Yeah, he gets to Searing Blaze the Young Pyromancer, deal 3 to Will, and trigger the Prowess on Swiftspear. He's probably going to do that after attacking, because Will's going to want to block with the token,
elemental.
and then Will doesn't know that he's not going to have a creature to put that Vampiric Link he topped. It does make things awkward. Will kept Vampiric Link on top, and now there's going to be only one creature on the board, and Barry's not priced into attacking with it.
Yeah.
So
All right, let's see. So he's going to main phase Searing Blaze instead.
I guess it doesn't really change anything, and this way...
I mean, the 1 damage doesn't race very well with the elemental, right? So Will falls to 9. Oh, let's say he's going to block, so Will's going to stay at 11.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, he didn't block because Barry main phased that, and you could have had the board clear
Yeah, I agree.
this way. Like,
I
he was
agree.
totally going to just chump with the elemental.
I think, to be fair, that's another nuance that you get from playing more Magic that Barry just doesn't have the luxury of doing anymore, right? So Vampiric Link on the elemental.
That is a 1 lifelink a turn. This plays real bad into
We'll bring it back up here.
any burn spell. Okay, so my guess is that nice. That's German.
Oh.
My
My apologies. There we go. Let's get an English one.
I guess you can bolt the Swift Spear there. This is all kind of awkward. I feel like you just suit up the Swift Spear, save the bolt, and attack for 1 with the elemental.
Didn't know that our card links could pull foreign cards.
No, we're inclusive for everybody.
Down
Yeah,
the-
there's a Searing Blaze. It's not as good, but
Counter Squall is here to stop it. So
yeah, you're countering a 1 damage.
Mm-hmm. which he did
Searing
last
Blaze.
game as well. Negate instead.
To
So
be fair, I mean, Barry's at 8,
yeah, Barry's at 8 now.
and we know Will drew another lightning bolt. I'm pretty sure.
Thought Scour coming down here is going to mill over a couple cards. Lightning Bolt and Dispel
Two
go
good
away.
ones.
Yeah, 2 very good cards. Another attack for 1 is going to make it 7-11 of the life totals in Will's favor. Barry has a Boros Charm added to his hand.
I think he just passes here.
It looks like he's going to go ahead and kill this. He wants to deal with the lifelink while he can. Another counter spell. That's insane, though. All right, Will just has all the counter spells. All right, Rift Bolt suspended. This will deal with this elemental unless Will has another spell.
But Barry's going down to 4 after the attack from the elemental. Now he's in danger of dying.
Yeah, if Will has Lightning Bolt in hand, which we think he does, this is just game.
I think he does, yeah.
Oh no, he'll be at 1.
Yeah.
He'll be at 1. Oh,
Well-
okay, that does it.
No, it doesn't. He doesn't have another red source.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I mean he's dead to the bolt now is the problem,
Yes, and is unlikely to gain life.
unless he plays Lightning Helix, which I think he does have a copy or two of.
If
But
Barry finds land, maybe he can win this. Rift Bolt, Boros Charm. No, there's no 4.
no, because
4 damage.
that's only 7 damage. There's no
Yeah.
5 damage for 1 mana.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good. I guess Thunderous Wrath.
Yeah. Not bad. Oh,
Barry
there's
does find a land.
Shock
It's a
land.
Sacred Foundry.
Nice. I think Barry main phasing all his burn spells to try and kill the
Yeah.
token is what undid him this game.
What punished him a little bit for
He
sure.
he gave Will an opportunity to use his mana on his turn still.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, this is going to be the game here. Barry is likely able to answer this Storm Chaser Mage, but the Lightning Bolt that Will has in his hand we know about is going to kill him.
yeah, Will's at 12. I just don't see there being any reason why he doesn't just fire off Bolt.
He can't right now.
No, I'm saying like just.
Oh,
next
yeah,
turn, just
you're
fire
saying
it
on his
off.
turn. Yeah, sure.
I'm just trying to think of a way in which Barry could try and represent a game state where you're trying to discourage Will from firing off Bolt.
Like, okay, so if Will had, let's say Will draws
I
a
think
blank.
if Will just draws a blank and goes to Bolt Barry and Barry has deflecting palm, that's like the only. It
Sure.
still only gets him a turn. He'd have to draw another land, plus. Will just slow rolling Barry. I'm sure he's happy about that.
Yep.
Well,
Okay. Boros Charm in response, I bolt you. Will asks to read the Oracle text on
Deflecting Palm?
Palm just to make sure.